The College Sports Commission has now issued new guidance on collectives. And this is the place for you to get the information that is going to come out 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now about NIL and how it is going to affect college football, college sports, and your team in particular. And then Notre Dame has made USC, has put them, backed them into a corner, Lincoln Riley into a corner. There are no more excuses for not playing this rivalry game. And USC people, oh, see, look, this just shows that Notre Dame is they're being forced into a conference. They ain't gonna be forced into a conference. I will explain to you that why, and also what is going on over at Tennessee with their star player, Mr. Boo Carter, and so much else. And my old quarterback, Mr. Byron Leftwich, has joined the Colorado Buffaloes. Is this a good move? How will this impact Colorado? I've already talked about Dion coming back from cancer, all that. We got so much more here on the Unafraid Show. I'm George Wrighster, former NFL player, former college football player, college football analyst. You'll see your boy on the tube this year. Make sure that you like, subscribe, get notifications, and tell everybody about this channel, because this is where the truth happens. This is where we give you the real. When other people are giving you the fluff, this is where you get the real. All right, so as clearly, I'm not in my studio. I'm in the woods, literally in the woods. But college football don't stop for me. It don't stop for you. It don't stop for nobody. But recently, what has happened is the College Sports Commission, they have issued new guidance as it relates to NIL collectives. And you might be like, okay, how does that matter? Well, here is the thing. So August 1st is the first time in the history of college athletics that college football programs that in their athletic departments that they can actually issue written revenue sharing contracts to high school recruits. So there's the whole pay for play thing. We've examined the difference between pay for play, the difference in NIL. So you got to go back and watch a whole nother video if you didn't know it, because a lot of these kids sign NIL deals, but they're really pay for play deals, which is the revenue sharing deal, because the kids do have value in terms of that. Now, how much NIL value they have, it ain't really nearly as much as some parents want to believe and some parents really think. So August 1st, they can pass out the contracts. I know some families that have gotten their contracts already, but this is also a telltale moment in college football, because you have schools that are now scared to release their contracts to high school athletes to sign. Mind you, they can't sign them today. They can't sign them until December with National Signing Day. So you got all of August, all of September, all of October, all of November, and damn near all of this, well, like half of December. So you got 4.5 months. And some schools won't release the contracts to those high school athletes, even though that they have told them, oh yeah, you're going to get $300,000 in rev share. You're going to get 100,000. You're going to get 50,000, whatever it is going to be. But they are afraid to release the contracts because they're saying, oh, well, they're going to be used to negotiate and get leverage for other teams. You damn right they are. You damn right they are. Now, if I get an offer from CBS, ESPN offers me an offer, CW offers me an offer, Fox offers me an offer. You know what I'm going to do? The same thing that you do at your job, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, a pilot, in whatever your job is, coder, social media specialist. You're going to negotiate with the one that you really want to get the best terms, because people want people who are in demand. That's like when somebody has a wife or a husband and they're mad that other people find them attractive. What Nobody wants anybody that nobody else wants. When other people want you, you do have leverage to negotiate different deals and negotiate some of the terms in those deals. And we've talked about before, there are some unfavorable terms in some of these deals that schools are trying to just get pushed through. And if schools believe, and there are some schools that have literally said that it is that, quote, they can't sign anything until December. This from an On3 article by Pete Nakos. They can't sign anything until December. So there's really no point. That's what one Power 4 general manager told On3. And he said people would be dumb to do it. No, they're not dumb, because if you're not releasing your contract at this point in time, that is a telltale sign that you got a little bit to hide. Because if you are confident in your relationships, you're confident in the money, because the other schools were offering them money already. Do you think that them just seeing the contract is then going to change it? No, it's not going to change it, because there is a finite amount of money that can be given out in rev share. For this upcoming year is $20.5 million. It'll go up a little bit year after year. Now, mind you, all $20.5 million is not going to football. We have discussed this ad nauseum, that you will have schools get anywhere in between 14 to like 18 million, depending on the school and their basketball program. If you're at Duke, football ain't getting quite as much as it is as if you are at, probably Rice or something. you get you get my drift. Or somewhere like Kansas basketball is going to demand more rev share money than Kansas State basketball will. So this is a landmark day in the world of college football, and a landmark day in college athletics. But these third party deals, these NIL deals, the separate part of that, that is the gotcha. That's where the College Sports Commission has now issued new guidance as it relates to that, and they did it yesterday. So and we and so the collectives, so each school has a collective. Now the collectives are not supposed to be operating until this year, as part of the school in terms of recruiting and all of this stuff. So now, but the collectives are trying to just pay kids to essentially put extra money in their pocket for NIL, when there's not a lot of NIL value for college football athletes. Now, yes, for a Heisman Trophy candidate, if it's Cade Klubnik, if it's John Mateer, if it's Jeremiah Smith, if it's Caleb Downs, if it's big name players, yes, they're going to have value in the hundreds of thousands to potentially millions of actual real NIL. But is the high school player coming out of high school have real NIL value? Not really. Because none of them are really like, I mean, Shador Sanders would have had it because he was famous coming out of high school. But most players are not actually famous. I'm not talking about internet. I'm talking about real famous, where people can look at you with your helmet off and oh yeah, I know exactly who that is. So here is the collectives were threatening to file lawsuits against the College Sports Commission and Deloitte, who is the company that is tasked with determining whether deals are fair market and pushing these deals through, because any deal over $600 has to be submitted through Deloitte. So the collectives were threatening to sue. I told you this 3 months before before the House settlement was even signed. So now here we are. So now let me tell you what goes on from here, because when everybody else catches up 3 weeks, 3 months from now, you will already know the answer to the test. You can tell your friends and everybody else. So last month, before the settlement, collectives could actually pay, athletes whatever they wanted to. And then 3 weeks ago, after the guidance came down, then all of a sudden you were in a situation where collectives could not pay athletes. And they were upset about that, because they had made promises to families about and kids that they were going to be able to get them certain amounts of money, but they were never going to be able to get them under the under the under the NCAA House settlement. It was never going to happen, and I told you that. So then the revised guidance comes out, and it says collectives can now pay players, but it is still with the regulation of quote unquote for business purposes. Oh, sorry, valid business purposes. VBP, valid business purposes. That's the term that you need to know. So what they're saying is that the collectives now, yes, you can pay athletes, But you can't just pay them to, oh yeah, we're gonna pay the freshman who's not playing $100,000 because that's what we promised him coming out of high school to just show up at the car wash, to just show up at the golf course. No, 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 no. That may be a $5,000 job. That may not be a $100,000 job. That's the difference. And the companies or the collectives, when they go pay the players or they go sign these NIL deals with them, they are going to have to submit them to Deloitte and also submit what the valid business purpose is because it is supposed to be for profit. So now the collectives are going to have to get very, very creative in how they pay the players because for profit. So that means, yeah, you can sell some t-shirts, but they'll probably be selling junk t-shirts, one booster, buy them. And then you say, okay, well, it's a for-profit business. We're selling these t-shirts. Ha! See, look, we sold 10,000 t-shirts. Maybe only one person really bought them. 20 people bought them, but they sold 10,000 t-shirts. That's the way the collectives are going to get around this. It will be, the equivalent of junk bonds. That's how the collectives are going to get around it. So you guys be on the lookout for that because this sort of solves the problem, but the collectives are still not going to be happy with that. They're going to be able to push a little bit more money through to athletes that they promised them, knowing that they weren't going to be able to get it through. But it is still going to be bottlenecked, and you may actually still see some lawsuits as a result of that. That is my prediction. Okay, now on to the next thing. USC and Notre Dame. USC has now been backed into a corner by Notre Dame. Now there was the whole Lincoln Riley him hawing for since last year. Oh, we need to make the path to the college football easier, and what's going to happen with the new playoff format. We'll play Notre Dame if it still makes sense. I mean, that they won't consider moving the game to the beginning of the season, so I don't know if it makes sense. This, and this. Well, you know what Notre Dame's athletic director said? He said, quote, "I've said it." Marcus Freeman has said it, and we make no secret about it. We want to play USC every year, as I've said in the past. I just think it would be a horrible thing if we don't. I think it would be bad for us. I think it would be bad for college football. Ooh. So now what you gonna say? Because this series has been played since 1926, one of college football's greatest rivalry games. They played every year since 1926, except for the 43 to 45 because of World War II. And then because in 2020, because of COVID, Notre Dame leads the series 52 to 38 in 5. They won 6 of the last 7 meetings. So explain me this, USC, you have no more excuses. Oh, well, Notre Dame needs to join a conference. What does that have to do with playing the game? If Lincoln Riley really want to play the game, play the damn game. You want guarantees? You want, what do you want? This is one of college football's greatest rivalries. What are we doing here? And now Notre Dame has backed you into a corner because this October 18th game in Notre Dame Stadium is the last one attached to the current contract between the two schools. And a game that is in October because Notre Dame had already agreed not too long ago not to make USC come out into the cold in Indiana in November. So they've already acquiesced USC by not going out there in the cold in November. Now they want something else. And USC fans believe that playing hardball is going to get Notre Dame into a conference. No, it's not. Notre Dame is going to have no problem finding an opponent if they want to play them every single year. They'll go, I promise you, Oregon will sign a home and home with them to play them every single year. Alabama will probably do the same thing. Georgia would do the same thing because that's big money. Their fans are going to pay extra money. That is a gold mine for you and your team. But instead of, capitalizing on the gold mine, USC wants to take the weak way out. And this is soft as grandma's love, dude. Softer than grandma's love. This is dying a pillow fight. level of softness by USC. And I know that this is not all their fans, because a lot of their fans are like, hell no, play the game. Former alumni are like, play the game. So if everybody around you is telling you this, Lincoln Riley, go recruit well, go win on the field, and you ain't got to worry about it. Beat Notre Dame. What are we talking about? Oh, you want to play Missouri State instead? Come on, man. Like USC is one of the most storied college football programs there is. Don't do this. Don't do this. I mean, and the offense that Lincoln Riley. Well, let's look at Lincoln Riley's offense, because the offense that he runs at USC, it is all about exploiting weaknesses, creating advantages. So if you think about it, it really makes sense that he bring that same level of energy to trying to craft a college football schedule. He's like, oh man, we got to exploit a weakness in the college football playoff. If there's an advantage here, we're going to go find it so then we can make it to the college football. Man, win your damn games. Because then you're going to be trying to cry about when people are talking about your strength of schedule. Oh, no, go play some damn games, man. The college football fans should be upset with this, as I am. I didn't go to USC. I didn't go to Notre Dame. I love college football like you love college football, and you should be upset about this, because they keep trying to give us these weak-ass college football games when we deserve greatness. All right, so now let's look about what's going on over there at Tennessee. One of their prize players, Boo Carter, has been away from the team since an altercation happened on July 16th. Now, he's missed team activities, and people were, oh, the internet was swirling with all sorts of rumors. Oh, he did this. He was committed a crime. Okay. So Josh Heupel said he's a part of this team, but there are some things he's got to accomplish to get back on the field. And the thing I take from this is it is very difficult for college football coaches to navigate the landscape right now with the NIL, with the transfer portal, um, with the transfers and all the, like, it's a little more touchy with the players. And I've asked all the college football coaches that I went to go interview this offseason to ask them about how is it dealing with their players in the NIL transfer portal era. And now I talked to a lot of successful head coaches, guys who aren't on the hot seat, guys who are, their programs are thriving. They're excited. People are excited about them. And their message was, listen, we're still coaching hard. Yes, there is a different type of relationship that you have to have with the players a little bit, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really, like, not much has really changed for them. And I appreciated that, because as a player, as a former player, there has to be, like, your coach has to be able to say some tough stuff to you. He has to be able to say, hey man, you ain't doing that, ain't gonna cut it. You will not play for this team if you keep doing this. And the idea that a kid would just hop in the portal after that, if he wants to hop in the portal after that, instead of being man enough to stand up and be like, all right, cool, I got to change some things. Yeah, I do need to show up on time. I know I'm talented, but here's the thing that I talked to a player about this offseason when he talked about that he didn't play as a freshman last year and all this. The thing that players and families don't always think about, because they have extremely talented kids. They have kids that are physically special. They did amazing things in high school, and they know in their mind that their kid is dope, that he can do special things. Okay, cool. The thing that they don't think about is that, yes, the head coach is making a lot of money. The assistant coaches are making pretty good money, but it's temporary. They change, they move around a lot. So they don't think about the fact that a coach is trusting his livelihood on that player. Or at any time a head coach or an offensive coordinator picks a quarterback, he's essentially saying, I trust that this guy won't get me fired, that this guy won't blow coverages on the defensive end, that he'll make his tackles, that he'll show up on time, he won't get in trouble, this. That's what they are banking their livelihood. So the question I would ask you, if you're a parent, if you are, a cousin, auntie, uncle, former coach, anybody that's related to a kid, and you're frustrated with that kid not, playing as much as they would as you would want them to. Can you honestly say that you would trust your job with that kid? That you would trust your income and your family's livelihood, or having to move your family across the country because you got fired or you got pushed out because that kid ain't doing a good enough job? Are you willing to risk that on that kid? Would you bet your all your paychecks for the next year or the next couple years on this kid with the way he's doing it? If you're being honest, most times the answer is no. So let's go back to Boo Carter over there at Tennessee, because Josh Heupel, their head coach, got a tough situation. And people thought it was a situation like Nico, where it was about money or, unhappiness about whether it's the wide receivers or line, whatever you believe the truth to be. So, according to CBS Sports, Carter's absence is, quote, not a Nico Iamaleava situation. It has nothing to do with name, image, and likeness, nor revenue sharing compensation. Instead, it stems from what Tennessee and its leadership council consider multiple team violations. Now, here's where it gets even more tricky, is that Carter's old agent has been ghosted, and now he's hired Ace Bailey's agent with the Utah Jazz. Remember, he was threatening not to show up with the Utah Jazz, the dude Omar Cooper. Now, that's an interesting point. Now, they could be completely unrelated, but at the same time, these things usually don't happen in a vacuum. And his agent was like, yo, I did represent Boo. I'm not sure if I still do. He has been non-responsive, and so is his mother. And then they posted something about Omar Cooper representing him and advising him now. So the thing that kids are going to learn real quick is that when you sign a contract with an agent, depending on the timing in the contract, if you're due more money or stuff like that, you're still going to have to pay the old agent. You're going to injure, you're going to find yourself in lawsuits, but I'm sorry. This is big boy business now. This is not little kid business. And his parents are weighing in as well, which is a whole nother can of worms, because his mom, now she was completely out of pocket for this, because she went on a Twitter situation. And here's what his mama said. So let me make sure I got the right screen up for you guys. Okay, so yeah, she said, let me clear some shit up real fast. My son, Boo Carter, ain't got shit to do with what's going on. He's not affiliated with no gang. So whoever running tell the school shit, get your facts right. Far as somebody supposedly saying he can't come back to the city, try something. What? Why are we instigating violence? Like I know that the first part, I'm not mad at her saying. This second part, mama, what are we talking about? Oh, say something, do something, blah blah blah. I'm like, come on, man. What are we doing? And then she said, y'all think I'm all talk, right? I'm down to sit down for mine. What that means, I'm down to go to jail for mine. And the majority know I will. Play pussy and get fucked. RS. That means real shit. Like, come on. What do you think that you are helping the situation if people are wondering if your kid is in a gang situation, and now you are over here doing this, ma'am? Yeah, nah. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. But, parents get bad ideas every day. Now his dad came with way more sensible tweets, or wherever this, what's that from? Is that TikTok? Is that, I'm trying to judge by the emojis. I'm not sure. Luke Jackson, the same way you were in my inbox asking where my son can do something for you, blah blah blah. So he was like, "We will still love you. Go Luke, go Vols." I'll take that jersey, by the way, if you ever thought about burning it, because we're about the same size. Because he was talking about burning the kid's jersey. So I love it, dude. That's a sensible response for a parent. That's normal. But the question is, how is Josh? Because kids sometimes, and I was just talking to a parent about this earlier today. Kids have to learn lessons sometimes. They have to learn lessons. And we were talking about a high school recruit, her son, where she's going to send him. And she was like, yo, I think this boy has time blindness. And I was like, yeah, I got a kid that's got time blindness too. And she said, man, I told her, I was like, he's going to go to college. He's going to learn some hard lessons and then he'll stop. He'll fix it. Like, oh, okay. Okay. Well, it is what it is. So that's the thing is they're going to have to let Boo deal with the consequences of whatever his actions are, and he's got to learn from it. All right, last thing up. Oh man, Dion in Colorado hired my quarterback. They hired my quarterback. So here is Deion Sanders introducing my former quarterback as his new offensive coordinator. Now, I know B Left real well because me and B Left got drafted the exact same year to Jacksonville. He was our first round pick. I was our first fourth round pick. And so I'm excited for B Left. Remember, he was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the championship with Tom Brady. Um, and we haven't really seen him really since then. He interviewed for the Jags job that, and then he was there the next season. Then it seems like he's been out of coaching, or at least he's been in an analyst role or something kind of behind the scenes. But him going to Colorado to coach the quarterbacks, this should be a major help to either Caden Salter or Juju, their prize freshman quarterback. So one of the two. And this is great. And I love to see it. And I love what Dion is doing because he's been hiring a lot of NFL talent and guys. And remember, Deshaun Foster, in the interview that I talked to him, talked about, because I asked him about former players coaching, and he said the biggest thing is that you have to be able to teach. You have to be able to communicate what you know in a way that somebody can then turn it into real knowledge, real applications out on there in the field. So he's already got Warren Sapp. Their defensive line was significantly better last year with Warren Sapp. Their running backs weren't doing very much. He hired Marshall Faulk this offseason. I guarantee the running game is better this year. Bet you that. You know, he got Pico from the Bengals over there. Kevin Mathis. He's got an NFL heavy staff, and I love it. As long as they can teach and communicate, this is going to be a huge positive for Colorado in terms of on and off the field because the level of mentorship. Because you have Warren Sapp. He got in trouble in Arizona with the little prostitute thing. I bet you he teaches some lessons to these kids that hopefully some of them learn and they don't make the same mistakes that he did. But he also had a Hall of Fame career and is a baller. So that's the thing that I love about Dion hiring this staff is that you get the on the field. And granted, there's a lot of coaches that didn't have Hall of Fame careers that are excellent teachers, that are excellent. Look, you look at Alex Mirabal down there, the offensive line coach over at Miami. He's a tiny man, but you know what? He know how to O-line, though. And so there's no shade at him. But also the difference that a Kevin Mawai or somebody else who, if they are great communicators and teachers of the on the field stuff, they can teach you things outside of the game that other people can't, that didn't experience that inside the game. Love it. But you guys, though, that's the end of the Unafraid show live today. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure to like, subscribe, get notifications, tell a friend about the show. And yeah, we will catch y'all next week where we will be back in the studio.